Hi guys, Stylus here, bringing you this review of Devil May Cry. When the world is overrun of demons, there's only one man you can call, and his name's Dante. Devil May Cry started one of Capcom's most well-known franchises, with an engrossing combat system that challenged you to complete each level trying to obtain the elusive S rank. Well, I hope you enjoy this review of Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry is an action game developed and published by Capcom, released in 2001 for the PlayStation 2. The game is the first in the series, although it is preceded by Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening, and succeeded by Devil May Cry 2 and Devil May Cry 4. Devil May Cry is set in modern times on the fictional Mallet Island, and centres around the main character, Dante, on his quest to confront the demon lord Mundus. The game is divided into a number of missions, where the player must fight numerous enemies and engage in platforming and solve occasional puzzles to progress through the story. Player performance in each level is ranked with a letter grade ranging from A to D, with the additional top grade of S. These grades are based on time taken to complete the mission, the amount of red orbs gathered, which serves as the in-game currency gained by defeating enemies, item usage and damage taken. Upon getting your rank, you'll want to play the level again if you didn't obtain an S rank, and you won't be satisfied until all levels have been completed perfectly. Devil May Cry introduces the style meter, which measures players' ability in combat. In order to perform what the game refers to as stylish combat, then the player must perform an unbroken series of attacks while avoiding damage, with the performance tracked by an on-screen gauge similar to the end of mission ranking. The more successful hits the player achieves, the higher the gauge rises, where the gauge starts at dull and progresses all the way through to stylish. When the player takes damage, the gauge resets, although players can maintain their style grade by taunting enemies at close range. Dante has the ability to temporarily transform into a demon creature by using the Devil Trigger ability, which greatly enhances Dante's strength and defense, slowly regenerates health, and grants the player special attacks. The Devil Trigger gauge depletes as the ability is used, and is refilled by attacking enemies and taunting. Besides regular gameplay combat, the game contains other challenges which often require the player to find key items to advance the story, akin to the Resident Evil games, as well as optional exploration tasks. The game is supplemented with side missions, which can be found in out-of-the-way places and reward the player with permanent power-ups. Other rewards for puzzles and challenges include bonuses like extra lives. The game's visuals do a great job of capturing the dark gothic tone of the game, creating a chilling atmosphere that gels well with the hordes of demonic enemies. Character models are detailed, from Dante's flowing red coat to the jerky and deliberate movements of enemy forces. The game does justice to the graphical capabilities of the PS2, and still holds up today, benefiting from the recent HD remake. Music for Devil May Cry was composed by Masami Ueda, who created a soundtrack that is a mix between gothic opera and techno. Hearing an organ play when exploring a huge castle really adds to the game's ambiance, while slicing up enemies to the sound of head-pounding techno beats emphasises the gritty nature of the game, and that for Dante, this is just another day at the office. Development for Devil May Cry started in 1999, where the game was originally planned to be Resident Evil 4, with the game directed by Hideaki Kayama after series producer Shinji Mikami requested that he make a new entry into the Resident Evil series. The story for the new game would revolve around protagonist Tony, a man with superhuman skills and intellect enhanced by biotechnology. After the decision was made to use a new dynamic camera system instead of the pre-rendered backgrounds of the previous Resident Evil games, it was decided that the new direction would not fit well into Resident Evil, and so the game was completely redesigned as an independent title and set in a world full of demons, changing the hero's name to Dante. As slick as the game is, I do have some issues with it. There are several difficulty settings in Devil May Cry, and when playing on the harder modes, particularly the Dante Must Die mode, the game becomes insanely difficult. Enemies will take cheap shots at you whenever they can, and power-ups are few and far between. My hat off to anyone who can complete the game on this mode. The camera can also be a problem. For the most part, the camera automatically picks the best angles, where you can clearly see Dante. However, when in close combat situations, the camera can become stuck, making it tricky for you to break free of an enemy onslaught and trying to find the best position to attack from. Those gripes aside, Devil May Cry has so much going for it, even to this day. The innovative combat system encouraged the player to be creative when killing enemies, to not only obtain the best score, but to maintain it, and the mission rankings, like the later Sonic games, would have you coming back to each level until you got the perfect S rank. Combine that with the side missions that rewarded exploration, this game has a dearth of replay value that establishes it as an all-time classic. Devil May Cry needs and deserves to be on the shelf of anyone who considers themselves to be a true gamer. Well, that was my review on Devil May Cry. If you liked what you saw, let me know by leaving a comment, rate this video, and subscribe to my channel. Check me out on Facebook, and thanks for watching. Until next time, peace out guys.